Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of 3SSRTV. I'm your host Peter Saros and this is Chad.
I knew you would pull something like that. Just before we were filming, he had something planned up his sleeve. You goofed me. You goofed me.
Alright, I'll do it properly.
Yeah, all right.
Well, welcome guys to the first ever episode of 3SSRTV. I'm your host Peter Saros and this is Chad Phillips.
Oh, thank you very much, because we do have a big debut program right here on 3SSRTV with everything music, sports, video games, street talk and much more.
That's right guys, and for those who don't know who 3SSR are, we're Swinburne's student radio station. We've been around for a while, formerly an FM broadcaster. We've now become an internet sensation, which you can stream via 3SSR.org or our app, which is available on Android and iPhone.
I think sensation's a bit of an extreme word,
I think sensation is the perfect word. Sensation will do.
Yeah. Well, let's hopefully in 6 months' time. But let's start off the program with a bit of music from our very own Tom Spottiswoode and Michael Thompson.
Welcome everyone to 3SSR Music. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, so we'll jump right in. Michael, you caught up with a few bands recently. How did that all go?
Well, I did indeed, Tom, and one of the bands I saw a couple of weeks ago at the Palais Theatre was Foster the People, and now Foster the People were one of the headlining acts at Splendour in the Grass Festival a couple of days beforehand, which was really good to go see. It was really good to see them in a sort of like an intimate venue like the Palais Theatre. They started off with their song Helena Beat, which you may know was off the first album Torches, which is a really good song, really good way to start. Two of the songs that I thought were outstanding though live were Coming of Age, which is off the new album Supermodels.
Fantastic song.
Thoroughly enjoyed listening to it live. And also Call It What You Want, in my opinion, Tom, is probably one of the best songs I've ever heard performed live. Yeah,
that's a fantastic song. And also, it's great to see a band like that at the Palais Theatre rather than Splendour in the Grass when they have to play to a large crowd and really try and bring the crowd in. They've got a more play, I guess, more hits. And it's great to see them play at the Palais Theatre and put a few new tracks in as well.
It was really good to go see. It's better to see, a band with 500 to 1,000 people instead of, 15, 20,000 people wanting to see the same act. Speaking of acts that I saw, 120 people were at A Great Big World, which is another gig I saw recently.
Fantastic.
As well. Great band and all that. If you guys are not familiar with A Great Big World, they did do a song called Say Something with Christina Aguilera, which gave them exposure and notoriety in the music industry and went to #1 in the ARIA charts here in Australia back in January of this year. And basically, it was 120 people. It was very disappointing. I thought there would have been a little bit more people and all that because they've got a really large following on Facebook and Twitter and all that. But it was really good to see them, more intimate than the Palais Theatre. It was at 170 Russell, which was good to go see. They also performed acts like they did songs on their own. Chad did a song called I Don't Want to Be With Somebody Else, which is a great track. And then just hearing Ian Axel on the keyboards belting out the lyrics to Say Something, which is just him singing when he sings it with Christina Aguilera. Tom, I got goosebumps watching it. My spine was tingling and everything like that, and just listening to that song live, I just felt like cringing and all that.
Well, personally, I always love a band that has a break in the middle of the set and plays a few more intimate songs, either like a single person or just an acoustic gap. I really think it breaks up the set really nicely, and that would have been great to hear.
It really was, and I was very happy to go see it. And both acts are really good, and you can listen to both Foster the People's new songs as well as A Great Big World's new songs on 3SSR.org right now. So Tom, what's been happening in the world of music, like the new music?
Well, Vance Joy, after signing a 5-album deal with Atlantic Records, a massive deal, he's finally coming out with his debut album, Dream Your Life Away, which I'm very excited about. I don't know about you, which is due for release in early September. We've heard a few great tracks off the album so far. We've heard Mess Is Mine and First Time, which are the singles.
First Time is probably one of my favourite songs off the new album. I can't wait for the other songs to come out.
I'm really digging it. I think it's going to be a real contest for Arias. And we've obviously heard From Afar and Riptide, which he's also got on the album, but a lot of new tracks to hear from Vance Joy on that one. And also in other news, Birds of Tokyo, one of my favourite bands.
Oh, I love Birds of Tokyo.
Have announced they're in the middle of writing of what may be their fifth studio album, I believe, which will be fantastic. And of course, Lily Allen has released her 3rd album entitled Sheezers, and we had a listen to that during the week. What did you think of it?
It was a bit of a hit and miss for me. Like, there were a few songs off that album were a bit of a miss. Like, I thought Lily could have improved her songwriting and capabilities there. But, you know, for someone who hasn't written an album for about 4 or 5 years, you know, she's done well with this album, I think.
Definitely.
There's a few songs that stand out and all that, like Air Balloon, really poppy, really catchy.
Yep.
Hard Out Here, which is, you know, everyone knows that song and all that. And also has a bit of a term to Miley Cyrus and Robin Thicke bits.
Yeah, that's right. She did sort of put the middle finger up to a few artists on the album, and I honestly really enjoyed the album. I'm surprised there wasn't a bit more hype coming into the record because it's Lily Allen. She always does well in Australia. And you know, it's only her 3rd album. I would have thought there would have been a lot more hype around it.
Oh, that's what I thought.
And yeah, and honestly, I think it's a great album. I think everyone should check it out. A favourite track of mine was I really liked Our Time.
I did too.
That was a really good track, and I'm really surprised I haven't heard much of that on commercial radio in the last few weeks. Have you?
Not really. Like, the only songs I've heard is you know, Hard Out Here and Air Balloon, basically online commercial and all that. But you look at Lily and she's not really looking forward to the mainstream success. She wants to, you know, branch out into her own little sort of, you know, make her own name for herself and all that. Like, she doesn't like the commercial, doesn't like the mainstream stuff. She's like Sia. Sia is not the same. Either she hates mainstream, she hates commercial music and all that. She wants to venture out and make her own music.
That's right, and I really love the sentiment behind the album as well. Like the album title track, Sheezers.
Yeah.
It was a really
good name. Good name.
Well, like for starters, I went into listening to this album thinking that the title Sheezers was really just to say she's the female Kanye West, when it really wasn't about that. It was really about a sort of persona or a character she made up that all the pop artists are trying to achieve at the moment.
I think so too.
Yeah, so I really liked that sentiment, and I really liked how honest she was in this album, as she always is, in sort of revealing, you know, what a pop star is all about. It's not all glitz and glamour. It's down to the business and making money.
And also your lyrics as well.
Oh, that's fantastic lyricist. You know, Lily Allen is one of the best, and she did really well in that album.
Indeed, indeed.
Sorry, we've got the festival season coming up, and lineups are starting to be released. What have you got on Stereosonic?
Well, Stereosonic lineup just got announced a couple of weeks ago and all that. I cannot wait for it. Calvin Harris, Tiesto, Skrillex, Steve Aoki, Alesso, Porter Robertson, just to name 5 or 6, you know, out of a big lineup and all that. You know, early December is when they're back at the Melbourne Showgrounds. It's going to be a good lineup. I went last year to Stereosonic and it was amazing just hearing it. But I think this lineup will be just as good as last year's.
Oh, it's always a big lineup at Stereosonic, isn't it? And you know, I'm not one for DJs, but some really big names there. And look, we're sort of finishing up here. That's all from us. Back to Pete in the studio.
Thanks, guys. That's your music updates for this week. Stay tuned. There's plenty more to come.
Definitely, because right now we've got a bit of sports with our very own Peter, John Donahoe and Alex Ellman.
G'day guys, I'm John Donahoe and I'm here as always with Peter Seros. Now Pete, we're here to talk some footy and today we're talking Brownlow favourites.
That's right, it's the business end of the season, finals footy is here, and as usual at this time of year Brownlow is a hot topic, so we're going to talk about a bit, you know, who are the Brownlow favourites for the year? For every club.
No, you're right. And every club every club has that 1 or 2 players, you know, who are in contention to take home the medal. And we've come up with, both of us, we've come up with a couple of options at every club.
Adelaide, obviously, you know, going in alphabetical order. Who do you reckon Adelaide? I think Eddie Betts is going to poll some votes. Probably not win the medal, but he's going to get a lot of votes for Adelaide.
Well, if you look at it, you know, you could say the obvious ones like Scotty Thompson and Paddy Dangerfield. For mine, Rory Sloane takes the most votes for Adelaide.
Oh, that's an interesting one because I know a lot of favourites would, you know, tip Paddy Dangerfield, but you know, Rory Sloane, he's a good player as well. The Lions. Now they've had a few good games this year. I think Pierce Hanley would be a pretty good Brownlow
Well, for me, Tommy Rockcliffe polls the most votes, but because he's ineligible, can't win it. I think you're right there though with Pierce Hanley. He's been phenomenal. I don't think many Brisbane players will be getting all that many votes, but Tommy Rockcliffe, it'll be an unfortunate situation because I think he might end up winning the Brownlow, but as he's ineligible, he can't take it out. So, and Carlton, who do you like for Carlton?
Well, obviously, I don't think Judd, considering he hasn't played many games. We know obviously he's a superstar, two-time Brownlow medalist. I think Mark Murphy would be a better option for Carlton supporters. I don't think maybe Bryce Gibbs, but I think it'll be Justin Murphy.
I agree. I think Mark Murphy, his early season was very good, and then Bryce Gibbs was not that good early on. But I think he might be able to track Mark Murphy because his last 8 rounds I think have been phenomenal. So look, it'll be out of Mark Murphy and Bryce Gibbs. Brock McLean tends to poll pretty well. I don't think he's had a great season, but I think it'll be out of those two.
That's fair enough. And then going on to Collingwood, Dane Swan's had that injury-prone sort of season. His form's been up and down. Probably hasn't scored too many votes apart from that Anzac Day clash. Maybe Scott Pendlebury, in my opinion. I think he's 3rd in disposals this year, so he's been very good.
Beams for me. Beams for me. He has been outstanding all year. When all the other teams went to Swan and Pendlebury, Beams just got more of the footy than anyone. He is a perfect outside player. He could be a smoky to win this thing because he racks up the disposals. No one goes near him. Can kick goals as well. I think he averages 3 goals a game and 25.5 disposals. So for mine, he's a real dark horse.
That's
we'll
right.
move on to Essendon now, Pete. Who do you like?
Zacharakis.
Okay.
He's one of my favourite players in the AFL at the moment. I just love saying that kid's name.
Zacharakis.
It is the coolest name possible. And I hope that I hear it a lot during Brownlow night because it's the best name. Joe Watson, obviously, superstar, Brownlow medalist, blah, blah, blah. He's had that injury season. He might poll pretty early because his form was pretty good before then, but I think Zacharakis will take the...
Yeah, Zacharakis will be up there, but I think Dyson Heppel's form is too good to go by. I think he could finish in the top 5. This kid's going to be a future Brownlow medalist, mark my words. He's a star and just racks up the disposals. As you saw a couple over the first few rounds, he was killing it. So, look, for mine, he's the man to take it out. Freo next. Who do you like?
David Mundy. I really like David Mundy. I think his form's been pretty good this season. I think that he's going to get a lot of votes. He's had a lot of standout games. He might not necessarily get enough votes to win it, but he's had a lot of standout games, and I think he'll get a lot of votes.
Well, a bit like Tom Rockcliffe before, we were talking Nat Fyfe. All the speculations around him. He's probably had the best season of anyone, barring Gary Ablett. I think, like Tommy Rockcliffe, he'll be in the top 3 again, could win it, and we'll have to pass it off to the second person, which is very unfortunate because he's such a good player. Turns games, we've seen it a couple of times this year, and going into the finals, he's going to be an absolute star. He could get Freo over the line in many a game here coming up. We'll move on to Hawthorn now. Who do you like?
The Hawks, the same sort of people like Sean Burgoyne, Sam Mitchell, Luke Hodge, they're going to poll well, but I think Isaac Smith, I think he's going to poll a lot better than what people think. He's had a very good season, and I think that just my personal opinion, I reckon he's going to get some votes and maybe push the regular stars of the club.
Yeah, no, very, very good one. Isaac Smith's a good player. I'm going to go with the forward, though. I'm going to go with the rough. The big rough. He's going to win the Coleman medal, and he's going to win the most votes for the Hawks for mine. Just a presence down forward. He's kicked, bags of 6, bags of 10. Just goes about his business. He's probably the most valuable player in the competition at the moment, I would have thought. So he knows his way around a footy field, and I think he'll take out the most votes for the Hawks. We skipped Geelong, which was my bad.
We did.
So Geelong, look, Joel Selwood, yes. I think Harry Taylor could be a smoky to take out the most votes for the Cats.
I think he'll be the most votes for a defender, but I don't necessarily think he'll get the most votes in general for Geelong. I think Tom
Hawkins... His work
Hawkins,
rate, though, and when he goes forward as well, his work rate is just phenomenal.
His work rate is good, but defenders don't tend to get too many votes, especially key defenders like Harry Taylor. I think it'll be either Tom Hawkins or Joel Selwood.
Pete, that's all we got time for this week. Thanks for joining me.
That's right, and coming up next is Alex Ellerman with some soccer news.
Thanks, Pete and John. Well, we're coming off an absolute stellar weekend of football in the A-League, with Italian giants Juventus taking on the A-League All-Stars in what was a fantastic match that saw Juventus edge it in the final minutes 3-2. We were witness to an absolute fantastic game by all involved. Stars of Juventus, Paul Pogba and Andrea Pirlo, absolutely starred for Juventus, keeping the A-League All-Stars up to the level of international football that we've come to see from this World Cup. On a personal note, Alessandro Del Piero also got to play against his old home team club, which was a bit of a nice send-off for the Italian legend. Also, in other A-League news, Ronaldinho is actually being contacted by the FFA to come and play across in the A-League. In what has already been a season where we've seen big stars such as Damien Duff and David Villa join the A-League sides, it could be absolutely phenomenal season coming up. With the season starting in early October, please make sure that you go to your respective club's websites, buy a membership and follow the league. We have the Asian Cup coming in February, so get behind the A-League as football in Australia needs to continue growing. And now we'll pass to Chad in the studio.
Thanks, boys, for the sports update. And Peter, I can't wait for you guys to cover a bit of lawn bowls. I've been just following that sport every week.
We could do...
You are going to cover that, right?
Or we could not do it. I think that's a better idea.
So you just rejected my idea live on air.
I wouldn't say rejected, more... No, it's not going to happen. Sorry, mate.
All right, fine. But, no, that's fine. That's fine, Peter. But in the meantime, let's go with a bit more professionalism from the boys from Swin Gamers, where we get to learn about this week's video games.
Hello, we are the Swing Gamers. I'm Sean.
I'm Ricky.
And we're here to talk to you about video games.
Yes.
Now, first up, we've got Destiny, and that's coming out very soon.
It is.
Looking really good.
It is looking very, very good from Bungie, the makers of the original Halo franchise back in the day.
So, Destiny's coming out soon. It's kind of a mold between Halo games as well as Borderlands. So it's got the RPG elements as well as the co-op and the multiplayer, and it's looking really good, really interesting. So what's kind of the history behind it?
The history behind it, well, after Bungie separated with the Halo franchise, they branched off on their own and they started developing this game a few years ago. There was teasers for the last couple of years, and finally at E3 last year we got a first look at Destiny. Now this year they came out and gave us a bigger look at it, and it looked absolutely fantastic. And you're right, there was the RPG elements along with the FPS elements. The story is yet to be sort of confirmed. There was a little bit out, but as far as we know, there is this big traveler, this big globe-shaped object that has come to Earth, and a lot of other evil alien factions are after it as well. So it's here to protect us, and now we have to defend against these attackers.
This is starting to sound like Guardians of the Galaxy all over again.
It is a little bit, and I actually have no issue with that because that was a fantastic movie. But yes, the game looks fantastic, and over the July period, they actually released the open beta, and we both got to have a chance to play it. Sean, what did you think?
I thought it was really, really well done. They got Peter Dinklage, who is Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. He's actually the voice of Ghost. Ghost is this little sidekick, you might say, who revives you from the dead and follows you around and helps you, hack into things and goes through your menu and all that sort of thing. So if you play Dead Space and how you've got the menu coming up in front of you, it's sort of similar. That's how it's meant to be. Yes. But obviously that was in beta, so things could be different when the game does release. But with a budget of $500 million, which is a lot.
It is actually the biggest budget for any video game ever, so I'm expecting a lot out of this game.
And especially with marketing coming up, everybody's hearing about it, everybody knows about it, everybody wants it.
Yes, they do. And I had a chance to play the beta as well, and it was fantastic. They only gave us one map, which was very strange, but the way that they filled these maps each time with different elements and different characters, it felt like you were playing the same map over and over again, but it was completely different. It was fantastic. So once the full game comes out and we get access to all these worlds, because I believe we're playing on Earth, on the Moon, on Mercury, on Mars as well, we're going to get this huge world that we get to explore, and I really cannot wait for it. It's going to be fantastic.
It's got some great gameplay elements as well, where you're actually playing a single-player game, and like any other friends can jump in, or just random people online. They can jump into your game, and they can either cause havoc by kind of screwing with you, or they can help you defeat the enemies and work through the levels.
Yeah, one of the coolest things I found about it was if I was playing a single-player mission and there was other characters on my map that were controlled by people, there would be these drops of enemy ships, and they would just drop down, and it would be very similar to Halo's Firefight from ODST. You would have to fight off waves and waves of enemies, and the people on the map with you could either choose to help you or choose to just let you go by yourself. So that was a really cool element. It just sort of added this really sort of surprising gameplay style in the middle of an already established campaign.
And the fact that you can actually, upgrade your characters, you can choose between armor, you can give yourself, different boots, head masks, all that sort of stuff, different guns. You get all these from drops, you can find them, or you can find things and you have to take back to the city.
Yes.
So I've forgotten the name of the city already.
It's the Traveller.
The Traveller.
That's where you go, and you go there and upgrade all your stats. You go and get missions from there as well, and then you go out in your ship back to Earth or the Moon or wherever it is you're going next.
But anyway, the game does look really good.
Yes.
I'm keen for it. I reckon
it's my most anticipated game of the year by far. It looks fantastic. Bungie always come out with good I'm a massive Halo fanboy, to be honest, so anything from Bungie I am down for. I cannot wait for this game to come out.
So it's coming out on both the Xbox One and the PS4, and I hear it's coming out on the 360 and PS3 as well.
It is coming out on all 4 of those consoles. No word on a PC version yet, but I salivate for that day when they release a PC version.
You would assume.
You would assume a game of this scope, it would eventually come out in PC, so I'm hoping maybe a year down the line they'll do a PC drop.
Yeah. Well, we've had a game like Grand Theft Auto 5. That came out on the 360 and the PS3, and now it's getting released for the new consoles and PC. But yeah, Destiny, it's definitely one to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
So it should be coming out later this year?
Yes, I believe the 9th of September it is coming out, so look forward to that one.
Anyway, I'm Sean.
I'm Ricky.
And we're signing off for this week. Back to the studio.
Yes.
Great stuff, guys. Love listening to all your updates. Being a hardcore gamer myself, love listening to everything. Though I'm more into the down-to-earth, realistic kind of games. Like the Saints Row 3, Saints Row 4 sagas. Realistic.
The Saints Row 3 and 4, and you consider that realistic?
It's what I do with my day-to-day life, please.
God help us of the people in Melbourne if you think that's realistic and you're doing that.
What about all the machines with the fists and the
Oh, no.
running up walls and stuff?
All right. Well, let's actually go onto the streets with...
That's not how you live your life?
Go onto the streets with Georgia Westgarth and Alex Stefanakis as they do a bit of street walk for this week.
Hi guys and welcome to Street Walk. I'm Georgia.
And I'm Steffi, and this is where we ask the craziest and silliest questions to see what you guys have been up to.
Let's go get them. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done?
I accepted someone else's award in front of a primary school assembly.
Hey man, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done?
I said yes to answer your question. I walked into the female toilets up here on Ian level 2, thinking it was the male toilets, and as I realised there wasn't any urinals in there, I thought to myself, oh, what have they done to the urinals? And I saw 2 girls walking behind me. I thought to myself, oh shit, I made a horrible mistake.
And what's the most embarrassing thing you've done, Rosie?
Probably when I thought it was a good idea to call up Triple J on a talkback radio and complain about when people say H instead of H, and then the guy was just like, oh, okay, we're going to move on to the next person now. And yeah.
But I totally agree. As a journalism student, it is H.
It makes me angry. Yeah, don't say H. It's like that's not the English language.
What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done?
Peed in an elevator.
That is fantastic. All right. How and why?
I got really drunk for the first time, and my sister told me a joke in the car 10 minutes earlier, and then I just got it and peed.
Hey guys, so that's Street Walk for this week. Georgia, what's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done?
Well, when I worked at David Jones Burke Street, I actually opened a door that said, do not open. And alarms went off everywhere, and the fire brigade came, and I was so embarrassed, I haven't told anyone since. And what's the most embarrassing thing you've done, Alex?
Apart from my life, I went to my cardiologist a couple of months ago, and yeah, I ended up asking her whether my heart disease was genetic, in that would my kids have it, after asking her previously about getting some sleep, and we deduced that there was something on my mind that was keeping me up at night. So now she thinks that I have gotten someone pregnant and it is keeping me up at night.
Oh my gosh.
Which isn't true.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you guys. Back to Chad and Peter in studio.
Great stuff, Georgia and Alex. Great question. Wish I could say the same for some of the responses. Oh, come on, a couple of them.
Yeah, yeah.
A couple.
Oh, they did all right. They did all right for this week. But yes, I hope you did enjoy this week's debut program of 3SSR TV. We'll be back next week.
That's right, but if you did miss the show or you just want to watch it again, go on the YouTube channel, which is on YouTube, obviously, under 3SSR.
Yeah.
Or if you want to catch all our radio programs, go to 3ssr.org.
We're still around on social media, so you can also look us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
That's right, or our apps, which are available on iPhone and Android. But I think that's all we have time today, and that's it. We'll be back next week.
I'm Chad Phillips.
And I'm Peter Tseros.
Bye-bye.
Fare thee well.
Thank you.